Angulo, който е Head of International Partnership на SEMrush. Предполагам всички знаят за SEMrush. Нека да го посрещнем.
So, hello everyone. I'm going to speak in English because, sorry, I don't speak Bulgarian. I do speak Russian, but it's not the same thing at all. I hear how you're speaking. I can understand just a little. But actually, I really love Bulgaria because Sofia is the name of my little daughter. So, it's a great name for a capital. And, well, today I want to talk about two things. But first, I would like to ask you two questions. Who knows what is SEMrush? Everyone, perfect. I'm like in the United States. That's a great feeling. And who knows how to work with international SEO? Okay, let's hands. That's something typical. I'm here to show you like a golden mine, because the information that I want to give you today is going to be very practical and it's going to be very useful for you. Let's take a look on this. Well, not on this because I'm here. That's my name, Fernando Angulo. I'm from Chile. Actually, I speak Spanish, but I was living for the last 15 years in Russia, in Spain, in London, well, everywhere. This is our world. And every person that has a web page wants to communicate, wants to sell products, wants to gather content, wants to be popular everywhere. And that's the problem, because we are not speaking the same language in the whole world. It's going to be very easy if we have, like in all the planet, just one language. But it's not the situation, because we have different interests. And we have analyzed all the websites, I mean like all the websites, and we saw like the big websites that has more than 5,000 pages, they're pretty much big, they have 25% of problems and in implementations with hreflang. What is hreflang? Who knows that? Perfect, more hands. I love that. Well, here's a research that we made a couple of months ago, and we actually were analyzing 100,000 sites, and we found like the 15%, half of them, they have problems with duplicate content. That's nothing new. Duplicate content is everywhere, but we found something very interesting here, that those sites that we were researching, they also had 75% with hreflang implementation. 75%. So that's like a huge number. There are a lot of companies that need services from SEO agencies, from freelancers, from you guys. You can like make a lot of money here working with those sites because there are a lot. And working with hreflang is kind of complicated because you need, if you're a SEO, of course, you need to have knowledge on developer. You need to have knowledge on development. But what about hreflang in our languages? So, for example, hreflang is something like this. I love a lot of genes, but here you have how genes are in North America, in France, in Canada. Well, you can see all these countries, but the way that they are searching for those genes is pretty much different, because they need to look the color, they need to look at the brand, and every searcher, they want one only thing. They need to find satisfaction. They need to find satisfaction, and hreflang can do that. How? Well, actually, language is first, and region is something optional. If you are not introducing your language when you are implementing hreflang in your code, well, people are not going to be very satisfied, like you can see here in the picture. you need to obligatory, mandatory, this is a must. The language is very important for your website and for the website of your client. The region is not so important, but it's optional. It's like you can do it, but it's not so it's not very important. Next, there are 3 types of hreflang implementations. It's like 3 levels. The first level is adding links, adding hreflang links in the HTML head. This is kind of very complicated stuff. The next one is in XML sitemaps. The third one is like in HTTP headers. This is very technical stuff, and almost nobody's doing that because that's our level. If you are doing the first, only the first type of hreflang implementation, that's okay. That's normal. This part is like only 12% of all sites, because here they need a very dedicated developer, a very dedicated and like a freaky developer. Here, this is like God level for developers. So let's only take a look of the links in HTML. Well, we need to be. I want to be very clear on this. Only one mistake, one simple mistake, can ruin everything. How is that possible? Because if you are working with code, you know, if you are a developer, you know, coding all day, one mistake, oh, you need to check everything again, and oh God, that's a lot of time. This is even harder, because one mistake and nobody's going to see your web page. Your web page is going to be like a phantom. And if you are trying to promote a new landing page for a total new brand, I mean, Volkswagen, they want to have more buyers for the new Volkswagen Jetta in Brazil, and you are preparing this whole new promotion for Brazil in Portuguese. But one only mistake in hreflang, nobody in Brazil will notice about your new promotion. That's it. And I have those cases also. Well, that's like this. One mistake, nobody's gonna see. Well, I mean, Google is not gonna see your page because that problem. It's like this. So this is very hard. This is very important. How we can resolve this kind of problems? First one, focus on problems. There are a lot of tools. There are a lot of professionals that are working on this in every company, like freelancers. There, I never found an agency who's actually specialized on only on international SEO. I know a lot of freelancers, but well, that's not the problem. Let's take a look on this. These are major numbers. Why? Because in like 50%, 75% of all those web pages, we find 5 typical mistakes, and the one with 58% is huge. Let's take a look at the first one. Well, this is the major hreflang implementation, 50%. hreflang conflicts, this is huge. hreflang link mistakes. hreflang incoherent language. And the last one is potentially missing hreflangs. This is hard to find, this is hard to do. Let's start from the beginning, from the most major. Again, this is like a gold mine for you, for freelancers, for companies, for agencies, if you are going to work with international campaigns. Why is that? Let's take a look at this. First mistake, first error. This is hreflang implementation. How we can find that in a code? Well, actually, as you can see here, we have this FedEx page, FedEx URL, and they already had implemented the hreflang, but here you see GM8, like Germany and Australia, you know, language and country. Well, actually and the next one is Germany and D, so Deutschland. Well, that's the mistake. If you're a developer, you see, well, AAT is like Austria, that's something normal, but that's your thought. We have a whole complete standard to do this kind of implementation. And you see code, 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 but mistake. Why is that? Because we have a standard for this. All the line implementation have already standards. You can find this in Wikipedia. The standards for languages. So let's take a look on German. German is only D. No matter if it's in Switzerland or it's in Austria, it's like this. Okay? So that's the first problem, that people are not looking to this table. And we have also another big reference on international SEO. It's my friend Aleida Solis. She's already talking about big companies suffering, losing a lot of money on this kind of implementation, this kind of mistakes. Well, actually, we have another example. This is a Spanish website. They already say, well, Spanish for Spain. Well, Spiel is like Spain, but also in the standards there's not a language like Spain. Actually, in Spain, they have 4 languages: Catalan, Galician, Basque, and Castilian. Language for Spain is S only. That's the only one. So we found a lot of sites with UK, that's Great Britain. That's fine, but UK with EU, well, actually after Brexit it's not longer EU, but some pages are putting on their code EU, like a part of Europe. Actually, in Bulgaria, also, if you're implementing Bulgarian language for your pages, how's that gonna be? BG and BG, because there's not all language. Some pages are putting BG and EU. In Europe, how many languages do you have here in Europe? Like a lot, yes? Well, actually, here we have Great Britain, and the only language available for Great Britain is Great Britain. That's the standard. That's how we can implement this kind of codes. Here, I have another example here. As you can see, CH, CN. But here we have, if you are a developer, you must know that. You are coding, and with underscore, well, you don't need to use underscore here. If you are using underscore instead of dash, that's a mistake. And when you are coding, underscore is like always underscore. Dash is here what you need to use. This simple mistake here, the whole page is not going to be visible in Google. Google is not going to index this page. Okay? I think that's clear. Next one. We have another page. Here we have Canadian English and USA English. Well, actually, we are seeing here US English. No, the country code is not going to be the first one. The first one must be the language. Not US, but language, and then the region. The order is very important here. Also here, Canada, English. No, the first one is the language, not the country. That's something like very simple, but there's a lot of pages. Omega.de. This is a German e-commerce. They have a lot of his services working for Canada and for United States, but the situation is they are not being indexed by Google because of that stupid mistakes. Very simple. We have another example here for Greece, another Austria, MD. I don't know what's MD, what kind of country is MD, and people are using that because they are not using standards. Second mistakes, conflicts. Here we have like a lot of work to do because the most of the sites have this problem. 58% of the sites. First one, we are talking about canonical. Okay, canonical implementation means powerful for your website. well, actually Google is talking that they're not going to look more on canonical, but there are like a lot of discussion on that. Well, if you are using canonical and then you are using hreflang, you need to be very sure that your homepage, that your main URL is on the code. Because if you are not using that, another mistake, and no indexing for your page, and nobody's gonna find your page. Here you can see, this is a big company in Mexico, Banamex, well, for bananas. They have confirmed canonical. Here we can see Banamex, they are already checked their main URL, but, well, actually, they don't have a canonical here. They implemented the first, in the first place canonical, second place canonical, hreflang, here is, but no other hreflang for the rest of the page. So this page is not going to be visible for Google. That's the problem. Here we can see another example. This is a French example. Canonical, we can see alternate. Oh, this is self-reference. This is another mistake. Self-reference. We need to we need to write in every code, in every line, the name of the page that we are referencing. If we are forgetting to do that, well, here we don't have the same the same page that we referenced at the beginning. That's another problem. As you can see, this is something like very simple to forget, but it's going to provide you a lot of troubles. Here you can see in other code, like global knowledge from Denmark, they say, okay, we have hreflang implementation, but in the main URL they don't have. They have DA here and here DK. So another mistake. This is minimal, but the impact of this is like huge. Another one, conflict of hreflang links with the same language country. For example, you can see here English. This is Michael Kors from Germany. English for Germany. Okay, if you are from Germany, you can enter there. English for Germany, and you can see here like hreflang is missing here. At the end, they say we want to have English in this page, but they not put in nothing. They forget at the beginning. They mention it, and then they forget to write the hreflang here. First, they call for English language, and then they just forget to put it there. That's another problem. This is like the most delicate problem. You need to check this with your webmaster tool, with the search console. Sorry. Here you can see the amount of mistakes you can have with return tag errors. Here you can see no return tags, like 138 problems for no return tags problem. So when you're calling for hreflang in your search console platform, you can see here the whole problems, but you need to enter those links manually. Also, you can see all this in your code developer, and here you can see hreflang. This is Hasbot in Brazil. They say we're going to use hreflang in this page for our Brazilian users, and at the implementation at the end they forgot to use it here. There's Portuguese Brazil, but in the code they didn't mention the Brazilian, so they prepared the whole promotion and they forgot to implement it. Another big mistake. Then third one, hreflang link mistakes. What is this? Well, we have different kinds of links. We have absolute links, we have refer links, we have root links. Here we can see our absolute links. They start always like a URL with HTTP, and we can or HTTPS, like it's more popular right now. But the related links, they are sending from your website to another part of your website. The absolute links, they are sending from your website to an exterior website. Well, here if you are implementing hreflang for alternate links, you can start using this kind of codes. For example, the same problem that we had before, English for USA, English for USA, but if you are forgetting to use hreflang implementation with the name of the country, that's not going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem if you are forgetting the language. Here they only check the country. They needed to check the language. That's also a big problem. Related links, for example, hotspot. Okay, related links for Germany, Spain, France. That's normal. And here they also have Japanese somewhere else in the code. Where's Japanese? They kind of forgot about Japanese language. Also, related links and redirections. If you forgot to close redirection and you have the error 404, well, you're sending people to a complete empty page, and that's gonna give you a lot of problems because Google can remember those pages that are broken. So you need to also check that. We have a lot of tools to doing this. SEMrush, Deepcrawl, Systrix also, Modify, Google Webmaster Tools, Screaming Frog. But all these pages, all these tools, they are telling you where is the problem, but not exactly where in the code is the problem. The situation here is like the incoherent language. This is not the last problem, but this is one of the most common. Is in every stage of your pages. English for CS, English for German. Here you can see that we are detecting in your page English, but the code that people wrote in their actual language is very different than the English. So, a lot of problems. Also, like this is a very exciting example. Shutterstocks, they want to find a lot of new employees in different countries, and that's why they are implementing hreflang code in their web pages, like for France, like for Italy, and they are not implementing very well the hreflang. Why is that? Because they are not using hreflang well. They are only showing for those countries. I'm an Italian, I'm in Spanish, and I'm checking all the content in English, but they committed to use their home languages. So that is why we need to use that. Companies like Shutterstock, they are not using this. Why? We ask them, we actually put the phone and say, hey, you know guys that you have problems? They say, no, we don't know, because we don't have that kind of tools that can recognize, and we don't have the time to do this. Well, you don't have the time to do this, and all your pages that you attempt to be in other languages, they're not working. So, sorry. And the final one. The final one is the most heaviest, the hardest one. What is that? Well, potentially missing hreflangs. When you have a web page and you have like 10,000 of pages, 5,000 pages, you need to enter to each page and check everyone. But if you are using tools like those that I showed before, you can check here all those hreflangs like in 1 second. Here, for example, we can see Schwarzkopf, all the hreflangs that they have in all their pages, and you can see only these one are good. Here is not good. For this page, here they're missing, they have problems. So if you can use a tool like this, as I told you at the beginning of my presentation, you can make a lot of money consulting, repairing the problems of your new clients, of your old clients, also repairing more problems. And you're going to be like a rock star working on this. So that's it. Thank you a lot.
Great presentation. Ако имате някакви въпроси, добре.
When you say like when there's a conflict, for example, as you said, US, yeah, so backwards. You say the page will not be indexed. Do you mean just the region that they try to target, or like, for example, the website is in UK and it's alright in UK, and I create another page for US? It won't be indexed just in US, right?
Yes, I understand. When you are implementing that kind of HR code, you are calling the database of that region. So it's not going to be indexed on that region. Yes, that's the main thing here. You are trying to call the database for Google being indexed in your web page. Thank you.
Do you think there's a benefit to HR claims for just the local website? For example, I have a website just for Bulgaria. I do not target anything else. Should I still use BG?
Well, that's.
Or it won't make a difference. No. What do you think?
That depends on the mentality of the webmaster, of the website owner, because if you are so naive that and you're believing that nobody's going to find your website from, I don't know, India or Pakistan, and you're here in Bulgaria, it's not like that. Internet is the whole world, and sometime, somewhere, someone is going to find your website, and maybe you have the correct product for that kind of
users. What if I don't? What if I just do delivery of pizza in Sofia? So can I just leave it empty, no share plan, or should I add something like BG?
And you don't want to expand anymore?
I just don't care. Yeah,
no, if you don't want to expand anymore, please don't use Chirlank in your entire life.
Други въпроси? Добре, да му благодарим отново с аплодисменти.